All right, hey guys, this is MC from MCPD Studios, joined as per usual by my good partner and compatriot, Happy Medic. If you'll notice, he's the
police.
Fireman.
I'm the fireman.
That's right.
That's
Absolutely.
how we've always done it.
Some new stuff on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't take us long to make it sharper.
Hey, Farva, what's the name of that place you like to go? What is it, the mozzarella sticks and all that stuff on the wall? What, you mean shenanigans?
Oh! Yeah, so that's what we're doing.
Line,
so you know, we've had two of these videos go out, and we
great response so far.
Put out a request for additional videos, and I'll be darned if our audience, our international audience, has not responded. And we're going to talk today about an episode of something that happened that we have not seen yet.
Yeah, so we've got a question. What could the facility have done? What could emergency services have done to make this a better situation? Apparently, News 17 in high definition. You know, one of my favorite things to do, quick aside, is when I'm out of town, is watch the local news.
Oh, God, yes. Absolutely.
It always cracks me up.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
When years ago, Dad and I were in Denver, and their big sports news was putting the D on the side of the helmets.
Yeah.
That was it. And Denver is not a small town.
Live at 6 o'clock, the new buses are green. It's like, holy cow. I forget I'm coming from this big, we have the Bay Area news that covers tens of millions of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to jump in. I don't know where this is, News 17 in high definition.
We'll
but
find out momentarily.
I have a feeling our local news team is going to let us know where they are.
Over to you, Johnny.
New at 5:30, the Bakersfield Fire Department has released the tape of a dramatic 911 call. You can hear a dispatcher begging a nurse to perform CPR on a woman who collapsed.
Hang on. Can I interject already?
Yeah, go ahead, MC.
The dispatcher is begging the nurse to do CPR. Just that sentence alone strikes me as odd.
I have a feeling we're going to find out that the nurse, for those of you listening at home, I'm doing big air quotes here.
Yeah, okay.
Isn't a nurse at all.
Oh, okay. My guess is going to be there's a DNR.
Let's find out.
Here we go.
Let's go to the videotape.
That nurse refused, citing a policy at one of Kern's most prestigious retirement communities that forbids employees from even trying to perform CPR. The patient died. Did not have a do not resuscitate
there goes
order.
Your issue.
17's Kelsey Thomas has been working on this story for 2 days.
Let's go to Kelsey live in the field.
Now with what she's discovered so far.
No Jim, in the 7-minute call, you hear Tracy Halverson, the dispatcher, repeatedly plead with the Glenwood Gardens nurse to start CPR. The nurse repeatedly refuses.
I want to bring something up that the audience is probably noticing. This is a very, very serious topic. This is an employee of a retirement home refusing to do CPR, and we get to sit here and drink beer and talk about it.
Isn't the internet wonderful?
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay.
All right, back to Kelsey in the studio.
Halverson tells her the patient will die without help. She asks the nurse to find anyone, a passerby or a gardener who will help.
Wow.
The nurse refuses. It's all part
video.
of Glenwood Gardens' policy against CPR.
Wait. Before we listen to this, it is I think they said Garden Glenwood's policy.
Sure.
As someone with aging parents, am I going to put them into a place that their policy is not to intervene when medically necessary?
I'll tell you what, if that
it sounds like their son or his or her son didn't do a lot of legwork.
Well, if that is their policy, I'm pretty sure it's not in the fancy brochure and it's buried very deep. In
Probably, yeah.
How many times have you seen people that they look at terms of service and they just scroll?
I did that to get onto YouTube to put this video up.
Yeah. But it's the strangest thing.
Like an hour ago.
I went to the dentist and I was handed this thing. Oh, you just have to look through it and sign it at the bottom. And I started reading it. They're like, no, just sign at the bottom. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. Let me read it.
I'll bet you did.
So if this is their policy, okay, it's a private company. They get to set their own rules.
Sure.
However, I think whoever sent this to us is wondering, can that be a rule? Should it be a rule? But I am very interested.
Can and should, very, very different things.
Yes, but I am very interested to hear what our friends on the other side of the radio, the dispatchers, did, because the reporter talked about they're imploring the person to please go get anyone to help. I'd like to hear how that goes out.
Grab the ice cream man going down the block.
Anybody. Yeah, so let's dive into that and
here we go.
Let's see what happened.
Fire department, what's the address for your emergency, please?
Yes, we need someone out at Glenwood Gardens as soon as possible. There's a lady that looks like she fainted or had a hard problem.
What is the address?
Yeah, it's 11:07 Tuesday morning. 87-year-old Lorraine Bayless has collapsed in the dining room at Glenwood Gardens. She's unconscious and barely breathing. Fire and ambulance crews are on the way. It takes about 4 minutes of question and answer for Tracy Halverson, the dispatcher, to assess the situation.
We need to get CPR started. That's not enough. Okay. Yeah, we can't do CPR. Okay, then hand the phone to the passerby. If you can't do it, I need to hand it to the passerby. I'll have her do it. Or if you've got any citizens there, I'll have them. No. Anybody there can do CPR. Give them the phone, please. I understand if your facility is not willing to do that, give the phone to that passerby, that stranger that has it sent. This woman's not breathing enough. She's going to die if we don't get this started. Do you understand? I understand. Okay. I am a nurse.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. I cannot have our other senior citizens who don't know CPR. I will instruct them in a dining room. I will instruct them. Is there anyone there who's willing?
Hurts.
Okay. I don't understand why you're not willing to help this patient. I am. Okay, great. Then I'll walk you through it all.
Awesome.
EMS takes the liability
great
of
job.
Colleen. I'm happy to help you. Okay.
Yeah.
This is EMS protocol.
The dispatcher's doing a great job.
Colleen.
I don't know where he is, but she's yelling at me and saying that we have to have one of our other residents perform CPR until instruct, and I'm not going to do that. And make that call.
Colleen, is there anybody that works there that's willing to do it? We can't. Are we just going to wait? We're going to let this lady die?
Oh,
well, that's why we're calling 911.
We can't wait. She can't wait.
This is painful.
Why in the hell
Lord.
did you call 911? What was your...
This is a perfect example, MC, of people that think there's too much liability out there. Well, I'm gonna call 911 and then I'm off the hook. If this was a nurse and she refused treatment, she has a duty to act if she's employed as a nurse in the state of California. That's in Title 22. It's clear, cut, and dry. So this is a very interesting case, I would argue, for abandonment on the case of this nurse, which is why I'm 95% sure this is not a nurse. This is a home health care associate,
right.
or whoever it was that they hired to come in and, hey, whenever something happens, can you be the one that calls 911?
This is asinine.
This is absolute. It qualifies as negligence on the part of the facility, I would argue, on the part of the Colleen. I'm not even going to say nurse anymore with the air quotes.
My initial thoughts on this were there's got to be a civil issue, a civil suit waiting to happen, but if it's in their, for lack of a better term, their terms of service, and somebody signed off on it, well, you know what I mean? Do they have a legal leg to stand on? I'm not a civil attorney, but I'd at least give it a freaking go.
Yeah, unless we have a physician-signed, authorized, do not resuscitate order, we have to do our best to help this person.
Well, assuming if she called 911 to start fire and ambulance, right? And
yeah, sure.
They're definitely on their way, and when they get there, they're going to do what she should have been doing for the last 4 minutes.
But we know that the most important thing in cardiac arrest is early CPR and early defibrillation. So I want whoever found the lady to start chest compressions if she's unresponsive and not breathing. And we need to get a defibrillator. Does the facility have a defibrillator?
That's interesting.
Hold on a second. Let me put on my other hat. As the owner of this facility, I need turnaround. I can't raise rates and so hold on.
Okay.
Let's go in the conspiracy theory.
You're playing the evil genius role right now.
I went in the other room and I came back and now I have my I'm one of the dumbest people on the planet hat on.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, well, if this patient dies, we'll be able to clean out the room, get somebody new in there.
Oh, like a revolving door.
Sure, because that is literally the only reason I can think of that somebody would have this policy.
Well, let's finish this up, and then we can continue talking smack about how ridiculous Colleen is.
Right now, she is stopping breathing. She can't wait for them to get there.
A little more than 5 minutes into the call, Bayless remains untouched, barely breathing on the dining room floor.
Dying.
He's saying we don't, so you can talk to my boss, and I'm...
Okay, I don't know. They're refusing CPR. They're going to let her die. By the facility, yeah.
I hope there's a dispatcher there, a dispatch supervisor that say, you know what, let's roll PD.
But we can't wait.
We roll PD, we may have a crime scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
True story.
If you get anybody, any stranger that happens...
I'll tell you right now, that is not a call I want to get as a cop.
No.
That is a nightmare. it would end up probably being written up as, well, geez, I don't really know. A suspicious circumstance, a civil, a homicide. It could go to any kind, a bunch of different routes.
The biggest thing I want is what we call a 7-point star, an officer. I want somebody with a gun and a badge to stand next to me while I talk about how this was negligent, about how somebody is going to be held responsible, and it's going to be the people that withheld care that they knew this person needed, even at the direction of a trained dispatcher.
Yeah.
And I want that officer there, that I need to take your information, ma'am. Officer, this could be a crime scene. If this person, but I want to put the fear of God.
And the first thing I'm going to do as that officer is start a supervisor, so we can spitball. What in the hell are we? How are we going to handle this?
And tell you what, Colleen, I want you to get your boss. Tell your boss to call their boss and get the owner on the line, because this is going to get ugly yesterday
and expensive.
Yes,
very expensive,
especially when the family finds out from us that it maybe didn't have to happen this way.
And from the media, obviously.
Well, I mean, News 17 Bakersfield.
That's probably the second call that's going to be made. Not necessarily by me as an officer on scene, but I may suggest it to certain folks.
You never know.
Yeah, they need to know about this thing.
As EMS providers, the privacy legislation says that we can't, call News 17 and say, hey, Miss Betty Johnson, and they said the patient's name, I'm not going to repeat it. Miss Betty Johnson died under suspicious circumstances. I may just say, like, hey, have you ever gone over here and talked to Colleen? Maybe give her a call.
Yeah, Colleen's got some interesting things to say.
Yeah, holy cow. All right, finish this out.
Staff 5 is willing to help. I understand if your boss is telling you can't do it. Yeah. But if there's any, as a human being, I don't, is there anybody that's willing to help this lady and not let her die?
Not at this time.
A little more than 7 minutes after Glenwood Gardens dialed 911, Bayless is taken in an ambulance to Mercy Hospital Southwest, where she later died. We went to Glenwood Gardens yesterday and asked why the staff refused to even try to resuscitate Bayless. Jeffrey Toomer, the executive director, told me it is the policy of Glenwood Gardens that staff does not attempt CPR. He said the policy is in place because it's not a nursing facility, it's an independent living facility, and there are no nurses on staff to provide assistance.
Wait,
Toomer just gave it away.
Wait a minute.
There are no nurses on staff.
Didn't Colleen say, I am a nurse?
Correct.
Do you think, and total assumption on my part, do you think she was a nurse at some time in her life?
I have found,
and then transitioned into this.
Yes,
I think that's a safe guess.
There's a good chance that Colleen spent some time up on the floor or in the unit, and maybe it just didn't work out. Maybe she's retired, doing a second gig. Maybe she's a nurse by day.
I'm going dental assistant and or vet assistant.
I get a lot of people, not anymore now that I'm at the airport.
No offense to my vets and dentists out there, by the way.
We'll get these folks that they do the live-in care. It's like, well, I'm his home health care nurse. Oh, you have a bachelor's in nursing? You have a nursing degree? Oh, no, I take care of him. That's, okay, you're nursing someone back to health. Okay, that's one definition. But when you present yourself as capital N-I-M-A nurse,
yes,
there's an entire profession out there that is right now, they've got the bats in their hand, like on the airplane movie.
There's pitchforks, there's torches.
Exactly.
They should be coming for you.
So it's very safe to say that Colleen, probably not a nurse, number one. Number two, if she is a nurse, she's a horrible one. And number three, she shouldn't be a nurse anymore.
No, she shouldn't. She should probably be in prison.
And especially with Mr. Toomer saying that, we're not a nursing facility. That's fine.
That's fantastic.
You know what else isn't a nursing facility? The Home Depot. But the Home Depot has a defibrillator on the wall. So I hate to bring the big orange box into this, guys. But
my God.
This is where somebody says, well...
That's a giant leap, but I'm going to let you do it.
It's a big, misplaced risk management assessment. Let's turn it around and say if what Mr. Toomer thinks is true happened. His nurse does CPR and the person dies. And the family says, well, they died because the CPR sucked.
No. You're covered.
Well,
you're absolutely covered.
As a nurse under duty to act, we have, and as a paramedic, if I'm employed as a paramedic and something happens, I have a duty to act, which means I have to do everything up to the standards to which I have been trained and certified.
Absolutely.
So right away, if she says, well, it's company policy and I'm a nurse, right away she's in violation.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
let me ask you this. Let's say Colleen hasn't done CPR in 15 years, and she forgets. Is it 15 and 6, 30 and 2, or 47 and 8.5? Start pumping.
Yeah. Push hard.
Seriously.
Push fast.
Does it really matter?
100 times a minute.
Just get to work.
Yeah, and that's
do
all
your
you gotta
job.
do. But the thing is maybe Colleen is, oh yeah, I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 30 years. You don't need to pull my cert. Don't even worry about it, because people die in their sleep, wake up, oh, they're dead. Don't worry about it. But here's someone that we don't know.
This is irritating.
We don't know from the story yet what happened. Let's finish out the story and let's talk about some more notes.
Residents are made aware of this when they move into the building. Yet there was a nurse on scene after Bayless collapsed. Toomer wouldn't explain that. He issued a statement that said in part, in the event of a health emergency at this independent living community, our practice is to immediately call emergency medical personnel for assistance and to wait with the individual needing attention until such personnel arrives.
So this is the equivalent of us standing over a body going, heroes are on the way.
But
we joke about that, but if something needs to be done, we jump in and do something. I hear it on the radio all the time.
I'd be curious to see if Mr. Toomer would not want his staff to give him the Heimlich if he was choking.
Oh, no, he's going to drop dead right there.
No,
sorry, I can't intervene. Can't intervene.
And I just can't. See right here? That's where it hurts.
Yeah.
Thinking about this.
I can see the throbbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bad. Here we go.
That is the protocol we followed. As with any incident involving a resident, we will conduct a thorough internal review of this matter.
Meaning
but we have
what?
no further comments at this time.
Doesn't mean anything.
Toomer wouldn't give me a copy of the facility's policy. He said the staff is supposed to call for assistance during an emergency, and that's exactly what they did.
I wonder if they have. Go ahead. Let's pause it real quick. Do they have fire extinguishers on the wall at this facility? Do you think? Do you think it's their policy to try to put out small fires,
honestly,
or do we just call the fire department and wait?
I don't know. I wouldn't think so. You know what would be really interesting is to have the fire department come down and conduct an inspection of their facility.
That would be a very interesting
Wouldn't
thing to
that be a good thing for them to... Oh, you've got your 4 sprinklers short. Get everybody out of here. You're shut down.
That'd be pretty cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Spoke today with Bayless's daughter. She said she is a nurse and she remains satisfied with the care her mother received at Glenwood Gardens.
What? So the dead lady's daughter is a nurse, and she's satisfied with how they treated her mom. I'm going to say they were estranged at best.
Let me go in another direction here.
Holy good God almighty.
Let's... I'm trying to think of a situation.
I am suddenly mad at our good buddy in Australia who sent us this and put us through this nonsense.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking, MC.
Holy cow, dude.
It seems to me like Mr. Toomer got to the family and smoothed this out.
Oh, you think there was a little hush money going on?
There is definitely something going on, because you cannot tell me as a son that listening to that audio of a dispatcher saying, for the love of God, anyone walking by, please give the phone to anyone, and going,
I'll tell you right now, my mom lives in Arizona, and, you know, she's going through some health issues with pancreatic cancer. And if she had to be in some kind of a medical facility, and I found out that the best care was not being provided to her, I'd be on a flight right now looking to take somebody's ass out. Are you kidding me? I would have to be restrained. I mean, that's insane to me.
It boggles the mind. And again, I'm a medical professional, so I kind of get it. I'm the one that everybody calls with, I had a question about what my doctor told me. It's like, okay, Aunt so-and-so, sit down, let me explain to you that that's actually pronounced troponin, and here's why it's important.
It's troponin, by the way.
Yeah. The doctor said my troponin is high.
Well,
but it's just as a layperson, having to listen to that audio of, we're not entirely sure that your mom is breathing. She's on the ground. Can you come get her?
Help her.
Yeah, we don't really help people.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Did you call for help? Yeah, we called.
We also called for a pizza. So, you know, that'll be here before the fire department.
The dispatcher is trained to have people do what can actually help, and we didn't do it because policy.
There are 9 seconds left in this video, and I'm not going to watch it.
You know what? Fire it up. Maybe we hear about something else that happened in Bakersfield.
No,
you don't want to see it?
No.
Are you that upset about this?
This is ridiculous. These people should be in prison. Prison.
Yes. Now, my question is, we don't know.
Or in the poorhouse. Or both.
I didn't see a date on this. I think they just said it was like August or October, whatever.
I don't recall either.
There's a good chance that whatever the outcome of this situation was has boiled over to the point where we'd be able to look it up.
Maybe. Are we going to do that?
No, we're not going to do that.
We're really not going to do that.
This is going to happen again, if it hasn't already happened again.
And possibly in the armpit of California.
Because
if you're not aware,
Bakersfield is. Because there are executives that run these houses that they're just looking at turnover. Get them in, get them out. Get them in, get them out. Yeah.
Bottom line.
They are there to make a profit on our relatives living there until they die. That is what they do. And they are under the impression that they can hire probably very low-skilled, low-wage people to wander the halls and then have that one person.
To what end?
Profit.
Money. Why have staff, though? What is their function? This is not it didn't appear to be a memory care facility.
No,
right? So it's
not a skilled nursing. It's a
independent living facility, I believe, is what Mr. Toomer called it.
Yes.
Right. So Aunt Ethel, who's 89 years old, still has a thing that she can do, a place she can go, she can take care of herself and all that. Doesn't need a lot of medical assistance.
Doesn't need any medical assistance.
God. But on the off chance that she needs it, she's proper screwed.
So there's a lot of places
as our good friend Aussie Man would say, destination, no, okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of places like this, MC, though, where it's a large campus, right? And they've got kind of like bungalows.
Right.
For when you're first starting off in a retirement, you can still get a haircut on site. There's a little bar, cafe,
you know where I want to go when I retire?
Where's that?
Not friggin' Bakersfield.
No. But if, I
don't want to go there now.
If the kiddos aren't taking care of you, you don't have enough scratch there at the end.
I'm going to find a different state to go to.
Just hire.
Not Bakersfield. Not hiring Colleen either.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I think we should put in our wills that if the nurse's name is Colleen.
Or Gary.
Hire a different one.
Or Gary. Gary's right out as well.
What can the facility do to make sure this doesn't happen? Actually hire people that care.
Suck less.
And have a policy.
They could suck less.
Have a policy right out there in front of the families that says, hey, if there's an emergency, we're going to do everything we can to get the paramedics on the way. No, I'm saying this is what they can do.
Oh, this is legitimate. You think they should say, we'll pick up the phone, push 3 numbers, and hope for the best.
Yeah. And no.
Because that's what that policy should say.
And they're going to open it up and say that we're going to do whatever we can. And that includes, hey, we watched a video on CPR and we're going to do it. Because guess what? The dispatcher assumes all liability for the CPR you do on a person if you aren't trained. Right? Look. Pow! Am I lined up right? So, oh my Lord. Could emergency services do anything to prevent this? Absolutely not.
No, this has nothing to do with emergency services.
Every single thing that was in place to intervene before the paramedics arrived was there. You heard the dispatcher. Just hand the phone to anybody. Put me on speakerphone and I'll shout out instructions. Just whatever. But no, you're looking at 100% liability directly on whoever put that policy in place. That's where it goes.
Shame on you.
Right through
Shame
Colleen.
on you.
Colleen will never work again.
Let's do the Game of Thrones. We need a bell. Shame.
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
Shame. Liar.
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
Liar. Are you kidding me? No. Oh, that's a whole other. We need to wrap this up.
No, because I got way behind.
Side conversation.
I got way behind when I was going to start watching it, and then we didn't have the channel anymore. So now I'm waiting. When it's all done.
Do you guys see what I got to deal with?
When everybody else watches it over again, that's when I'll jump in.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you to our good buddy from Australia, I guess, for sending us this abortion of a video.
This was absolute torture.
It really was. I'm offended by this entire experience.
We're on the outside of this whole thing. I would love to find that dispatcher and give her a great big hug.
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Perhaps
what an amazing
a 6-pack of wine. Did they make 6-packs of wine?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they put it in a box, too.
Ooh, big box.
Get her 6 boxes of wine.
There you go. Well, until next time, this is MC from MCPD Studios, my good buddy Justin Shore, the Happy Medic. Please hit us up with more of these videos. We love watching these things sight unseen, and you ask questions and we answer them on the fly. I swear to God, we don't watch these and plan anything ahead of time. So you can find us
now.
Yeah, absolutely. WYEradio.com, Justin at WYEradio.com, or Jason at WYEradio.com. Send us some links and we will review your video and maybe say thank you, or maybe say you're a terrible person for putting us through this.
Cheers.
Jeff.